We have breaking news. Jacob deGrom is going to have Tommy John surgery. Evan Grant with the story.
Yeah.
What's the story for you at 877-881-1053? I'm a Chris Young guy. You know, I when they did it, I got excited. But if you remember on the show, I was like, man, I'm trying to fight off being a negative Nancy here because of the injury history is so significant with this guy. Nobody's perfect, I guess. And obviously that applies to Chris Young now at this point. Not only are you going to miss this year, but next year, he's just hurt in every way over the last 3 years. So you kind of got what you were asking for, I think, and it's really unfortunate that he can't play. I guess maybe he could play for your attempt to go back to back and win the World Series in 2024. You know, let's target October of 24 here for the return of deGrom. I just can't believe it. You know, we should have seen it coming, though. Yes. And a couple of times I asked, Sandler, are we sure we can rule out Tommy John? And there had been no indication that it was a possibility. But when the elbow is not healing, there's just so few things it can be.
Right.
You know, and I guess it was Nolan Ryan who, in the 80s, famously had a doctor recommend Tommy John, and he said, no, I'm good, and he strengthened it and took Advil, and like the ligament managed to heal on its own well enough, and maybe you're hoping that the body heals itself, but getting no progress yesterday, they decided to put him on the 60-day, and now today comes confirmation of the worst-case scenario here for deGrom, right?
Yeah, I guess they found out earlier this morning. Boch talked about, hey, they were going to get another photo, see what's going on inside there, and I guess it's a tear. So he's got the tear in the ulnar collateral ligament, and that's going to have the Tommy John. It is frustrating because that's going to bleed into next year as well. To me, like, hindsight, yes, it is. As a Rangers fan, they're paying a ton of money to this guy. I still don't blame them for making that signing. You have an opportunity to go get the best pitcher in Major League Baseball. The only way you were going to acquire him is to money whip him. They did that. The good thing is they've been playing so well without him to where this just doesn't seem like it has the same type of sombering news and impact that it typically would because Nathan Eovaldi's been great. You've had Dane Dunning step up, and there's some names out there, Corbin Burns, Shane Bieber, guys like that you could maybe go and acquire if you really wanted to add a starting line pitcher. But it certainly is, with the amount of money that the Rangers paid for him, it's deflating news.
Yeah, who cares? We're kicking ass without him, says the 214. That is definitely one way to look at it. And, this team is going to get better over the next month to 7 weeks as we approach the trade deadline. So there's still a lot to be excited about with this baseball team. Thankfully, Chris Young is so awesome. He built a team that's still the best team in baseball without the best pitcher in baseball.
Yeah, it's so shocking if you would have said, hey, by the beginning of June, deGrom will not be throwing another pitch all season, and you'd still be in a place where you're leading the division and all these kinds of things. But it's a giant bummer, I guess. A little bit of glass half full. You get this news before the trade deadline. So as you mentioned, Walchuk, you can get ahead of some things because if this happens afterwards and you're thinking, oh, we thought we only needed some bullpen, but maybe you need another starting rotation guy. We'll see how they deem it. But either way, this is a bummer, but we can't be surprised.
No.
The Mets fans were telling us from day one. I mean, for all around us was, hey, just get ready for the injury roller coaster that's going to take place. And we've been on it. We've been on it since the second he stepped foot in Surprise, Arizona. Yeah. And now it's just, gosh dang it, dude. We got 5 starts out of him?
Yeah, if that, and it was fun at times. What he was able to do, and I guess you can hope he comes back late next year and is great. But he'll be 35 then. I mean, we're already seeing what's left of his athletic prime being exhausted, and now you keep your fingers crossed that he can stay that great coming back from Tommy John. There's a pitcher in baseball right now who's really struggling to come back from Tommy John, who was a star. I forget his name, but it's not a sure thing. Most guys come back about as good, but some guys just can't quite, bring it back together, especially as you're getting a little bit older. And then even if he would make it all the way back to being that great, to me, it's just a timer. Listen, Chris, you're my guy. Hurt players keep getting hurt, whether it's, for me, traumatized as a child with the Sam Bowie over Michael Jordan decision, and then reinforced in my adulthood with Greg Oden over Kevin Durant. Mm-hmm. The Mavs trade for Porzingis. I'm screaming from the hilltops, what the hell are we doing? He's not that great, and even when he is, he just keeps getting hurt. we got to stop doing this, guys. Okay? Eventually, we're going to come up with a much more sophisticated genetic code map, and we're going to be able to pinpoint the dudes that can't stay healthy, and we're going to avoid them. And we're going to say, hey, tough luck. Most people get born with no athleticism. Join the club. Some get born with athleticism but can't stay healthy. And I think, unfortunately, that's what you're looking at with Jacob deGrom. The great thing is we got disability insurance on deGrom's contract, says the 469. That's glass half full.
There you go. There you go.
Maybe turn this into a Prince Fielder situation a little bit where you get some relief down the road.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be like 2 years without being able to play before you're eligible to apply for that. But yeah, a little bit of a bummer. 214 says trade for Ohtani. There's the response.
That's the move. That's the move. I think they got it in them.
Do we have the dough? Like, would that work?
Oh, yeah. They've got the money to do it. And I know there's some people that are like, oh, he's going to be a Dodger next year. Why does it matter? We've gotten some pushback already. Is the rental, would it be worth it? You've got some names out there that you could go get. Ohtani probably being number one because he's also going to help out your lineup as well. Not like they need it, but he'd certainly help put you over the top. I mentioned Shane Bieber. He's one of the hot names with Cleveland. But this was just one of those situations where the Rangers just might have been bleeped. The other name that they were going to sign, Carlos Rodon, who ended up going to New York, he hasn't pitched at all this year either. So, I mean, it's really just thank goodness for a guy like Nathan Eovaldi who's come in and been the ace for this team, and John Gray's been pitching really well. Perez was good last night. But, yeah, they've got some options, and I think Ohtani is realistic, and maybe this just kind of ramps up the fuel to the fire to go get that guy.
Yeah, go get that guy. Have some young guys be awesome for you. There's no doubt in my mind the Rangers organization can overcome this, but it's a serious kick in the junk here for sports fans. He's having surgery, yes, 817. Jacob deGrom is going to require Tommy John surgery. 360, they just now found the tear. They found the tear probably a month ago, but we're hoping it was small enough that it would heal. But it became clear over the last couple of weeks, this thing ain't going to heal, and we're going to need to have an operation there to get that back to to full strength. So, yes, take your breath away, doesn't it?
It does.
Breaking news on the Fan presented by BetQL. Smarter bets start with BetQL. Download the BetQL app or visit BetQL.com today.
Maybe you call the White Sox up. You got guys like Lucas Giolito, who's a stud, that you could maybe make a trade with them. They've kind of been disappointing. Dylan Cease is a dude that I love. I don't know that they're really pressing right now, though, to try and get another arm because of Dane Dunning, but you never know. If the other shoe drops and you start having some issues here or something happens and Andrew Heaney's not playing or performing, yeah, this is going to make the trade deadline that much more intriguing because the Rangers are players just for all arms, not just relievers, but potentially starting pitching as well.